you've done a really great job with this of saying no to things. But the only way that you can say no or say yes, like you've also said that you say like yes to whatever. I'll try anything once, I'll do whatever. But the freedom to be able to say yes or no comes with not having to worry about your bills.
Well, I agree. I agree, and I don't want to say I disagree. I agree to a point.
No, say you disagree.
When I first got started, I remember, there was never any helicopter money from parents.
Yeah.
My grandparents paid for my college with a 529 fund, which, don't get me wrong, I'm eternally grateful for. But there was no financier in my photography career.
Yeah.
No one was ever backing it. No one ever paid my rent while I got my feet under me or anything. There were times where I would have $600 in my bank account, and rent was due, which was $800, and clients owed me money, and the check for rent had been sent out, but the check from the client hadn't come in, and I'm like, am I gonna make rent this month? It was that crazy. And I think, me saying yes to everything was also a product of that, because I needed to scrounge. I shot some of the most asinine, ridiculous crap you can possibly imagine. I did portraits. Someone had a company that made light switch covers. I photographed those. I've done elopements. I've done it all.
Interesting.
I would just say yes. And this is while I was trying to do the architecture stuff.
So you were saying yes to side projects just for the money, while you also knew that you had this thing that you were...
I just had to make ends meet, man.
Yeah.
I had a job when I moved to LA. So I did 2 years in Tahoe photographing real estate. And then I moved to LA because I wanted to take it. I wanted to, get on the next rung of the ladder. And, you're not going to become a world famous architectural photographer staying in Lake Tahoe for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fact. And if someone does, I am happy to eat my shoe. Watch me in just a shoe on this 2 years from now. I moved to LA. Look, love it, LA, hate LA. Let's be real. It's pretty much the creative capital of almost the world.
There's a lot of opportunity
New York,
here.
LA, Paris, London, Tokyo.
For sure.
Tons of opportunity here. I didn't know a soul when I moved here. Zero friends, zero connections, nothing. I found a job editing paparazzi photos for $17 an hour for a paparazzi agency. I had to make some money.
That's crazy.
However...
Wait. What does that even look like? Editing photos for a paparazzi agency?
Yes.
What does that look like?
All right, so we had a little office in West Hollywood, and we had a fleet, a flotilla, whatever you want to call it, a cadre of 15 or 20 photographers.
I don't know any of those words. Like you literally used 3 words in a row. That did.
We had a stable of photographers.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And they would 24 hours a day, someone's always shooting. Whether they're at LAX because Dick Van Dyke is getting off a flight, or they're up in the hills trying to get, Ashton Kutcher making out with someone. I don't know. I have no idea. I could not tell you anything about celebrity culture. I was the photo editor. They would bring their cards into me. They would hightail it, out of the canyons or from the airport or wherever. Bring me a CF card. I'd import it. I would edit the set. We were an ethical agency. We weren't exaggerating or making people skinny, making people fat. It was a news agency, but paparazzi. I would do crop, color, contrast, etc. Send them out to, news agencies all over the world, like The Sun, The Mirror, Us Weekly, People, whatever. And then if we had a really hot set, they would call, and who's in the office at 11 p.m. on a Saturday? This guy. Negotiating the licensing deals.
You would be negotiating the licensing deals.
My boss would be texting me, don't let that set go for less than $2,000 or $8,000 or $40,000 or whatever it was. And so when New Zealand calls because they want so-and-so, getting pulled over for a DUI, and we have the only photos of it, I'd be the one saying it's $40,000 for the set, take it or leave it.
Okay. Before we get back to our designing a life with intention, what was the highest dollar value? Which celebrity went for the most?
Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was he doing in the photograph? Oh. Okay. Stuff that makes us question whether we want to listen to his music.
No. It was 2009 Michael Jackson, which
Okay.
is when his life tragically ended.
Oh, it was 2009. Okay.
So,
I
well,
thought we were
I
talking-
wasn't even a part of it back then, but those were the pictures that sold for the most money.
Got it. Okay. I thought it was earlier
And
stuff because I remember
we would
seeing
continue
stuff with
to- yeah.
children, which
No.
was
So, if you had stuff would sell for years,
interesting.
you know, on the anniversary of something big happening, there would always be sales.
So this is big money to go and take these photos and continually license them out.
Yeah. And so I was lucky enough that taught me from a very early point, licensing your photos, keeping hold of your intellectual property. You know what I mean? Because
Interesting.
the money is there. You just have to be ruthless about it.
Yeah.
And so many photographers, again, tangent. Oh yeah, $100.
Yeah.
Like they're paying 20 grand to put it in an ad, and you let them have it for $100.
Yeah.
Are you nuts?
Yeah. Well, in the world of portraiture, licensing isn't really even a thing. It's like
Right.
it doesn't exist. But in the world of commercial, architectural, editorial, for sure, that needs to be its own like entire course altogether. But I'm trying to figure out the order of this, because what you're talking about right now, making ends meet, this is really going into the grind. Like this is the grind of
I had to get a job.
Yeah.
I got lucky. They said, we need someone who knows Photoshop, Lightroom, Aperture. Remember Aperture, the Apple
Yeah,
program from
yeah.
back in the day? This guy, I know it. I don't know anyone, but so this was in West Hollywood. I got a job a few days a week editing these photos, sending them out. Meanwhile, I'm literally printing out brochures, walking door to door to architects, designers, real estate agents, carpet manufacturers, chair seller, anyone who's even tangentially related to architecture. That's what I wanted to do.
yeah.
Hey, can you hire me? Hey, can you hire me? Hey, can you hire me? 90% of the time you get laughed out of the place. It's LA. No one
Yeah.
cares. No one wants you there. 5% of the time someone takes it, I'll pass it on, and it ends up in the trash.
Yeah.
5% of the time you talk to a real person. And, 10 of those encounters led to paying work after hundreds of handouts and nonsense. And someone would hear me, oh, hey, where are you from? I hear your accent. You just said Wicked. I'm from Boston. Oh my God, me too. I got a listing coming up. You want to shoot it? Boom. I'm
That's
in. There's one.
crazy.
The next one, like there was a carpet, I'm not even kidding, a carpet manufacturer from like Greece or Turkey or something had a store on La Cienega, a few blocks away from where I was working at the time. I just chatted with the girl for like 3 hours. She quits her job 2 years later, becomes an interior designer. Who does she hire? The kid who walked into her office years ago. It's just crazy stuff like that.
That's
But
wild.
I was, pounding the pavement, getting out there, put my face in front of people, trying to make it happen.
So maybe these steps are going to be out of order. Maybe people have to kind of put them into a specific order for
Maybe
them.
they're building blocks rather than steps.
Yeah, building blocks. We'll put this category into the grind. And once again, I feel like you have to what you chose, architectural photography, has to be so in line with who you are and the life that you want to create that you can actually handle the grind, because that's miserable. You didn't go into this wanting to be a door-to-door salesperson, but that's literally what you had to do for a period of time.
I remember literally shaking the first time I did it.
Yeah.
And by door 100, I'm like the coolest cat ever. Like, you know what I mean? I hated it. I hated it so much.
I have sold many things door to door.
And I had to change my personality so significantly,
Yeah.
to get in there and put on the face and introduce myself. That's not who I am at all. I'd rather be like alone in the corner,